welcome to the Paint Log. My name is Keith, and we're going to talk about the minis I painted this week. This week has been busy outside of mini painting. I had a very minor surgery yesterday, so I'm at home for the rest of the week recovering, and just preparing for that and getting ready and work and home life and everything for that has been catching me lacking. But overall, it's still been a productive week. My mom is clearing out some stuff at her apartment, and so she gave me like an old top of the desk, which is the perfect size to set up like this terrain board that I've been working on. So while I haven't really painted too much mini-wise, I have been doing a lot of foam cutting, and you'll see some of that here in a little bit. And by in a little bit, I mean right now, because this is going to be a short video. I need to recuperate, and not too much got done. And without further ado, let's get into the terrain piece I've been working on. And here she is in all her glory, the wonderful terrain piece that I've been working on. Now, this is just the wood that my mom gave me so that I could use it as a base. I then covered the board with some XPS foam. This is just insulation foam. You can get a 2x2 foot square of it from Home Depot or any like department hardware store. It serves as a nice base that I can dig into. I want to make like a cavern out of this eventually. So if I want to have like pits or different textures in the floors. Next, I wanted to get an idea of the scene or story that I wanted to tell. This will be used for a variety of things, but mainly for a big boss encounter that's coming up with my D&D group. So here you see pictured the D&D group against the Bone Naga. I have an entranceway or like some steps going down, and then that leads to a giant crystal, and it's hard to tell in the back, but a like giant serpentine pylon. I had a general idea of what I wanted to do, but I also wanted to make it feel cavernous or like a cave of some sort, and that definitely wasn't coming through with just the basis of the blocks. So I switched that stone step entrance to have this more rocky texture with some rock formations that would indicate that we were in a cave. And there's still that entrance pathway that I will be doing something with a little bit later. So while I was making progress with the cave-like feeling, the story of this place is that a demigod-like serpent is trapped in that crystal and is trying to break free. And that the dwarves in the local area had created this encampment or this protection around it. So this needed to be a shrine or a temple of some sort, or have some sort of architecture in it besides just a cave. And that's why I added these couple of arches, and I actually expand upon that a little bit, and I definitely think I'll do a little bit more with that in the future. I haven't quite settled on an idea yet. I'm also on a time crunch because the D&D happens every couple of weeks, and so they are progressively moving closer and closer to this boss fight. And there's some aspects that I could probably make myself, but I decided to travel to my local Hobby Lobby and pick up. So I've added some mushrooms that I've found in the gardening section. They go with like gnomes, but they could be platforms and act as mushrooms. I found some like rock texture, and I have pebbles and stuff that you can get outside, but also just like landscaping stuff that I'll sprinkle on as the project progresses, but just to try to get a better understanding of what's going on and a better feel for that cave like interior. And this is where I'm at so far. I've moved some things around. I've added another stalagmite bridge. I've added smaller stalagmites that are on the smaller rock formations that I got from Hobby Lobby. I sculpted them out of milliput. I added an extra archway to kind of give the feel of more architecture, and then built up the side by the pylon as well. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with that side, but I like that side built up. It was a little bit too flat before. I'm sure I'll make some adjustments as the piece progresses, but I've started gluing a lot of the foam down, so this is where we're at currently. I'll keep you updated in the next video, but for now we'll move on to the 3 miniatures that I worked on this week. First off, an update on the Storm Fiend that I am painting. I had the base coat on last time, and I did 1 coat of flesh. You can definitely see it's patchy. I didn't do anything more than that. Again, it's a relatively big model, and I'm working on it here or there. It's a continued project. But I'm happy with the color choice that I'm choosing so far. The tail is a slightly different color. I don't know if it comes through in in the pictures, I'm going to make it slightly more pink. This is my first Skaven model, so we are going to be experimenting with how to make this rat look cool. Next up, we have this enchanted chest from Wildspire Miniatures Enchanted Objects line. Steadily painting through these guys just like the goblins. This was one of the 2 minis that I actually completed this week. I actually completed this a couple hours ago because I was fearful that I wasn't going to get any miniature fully painted by the end of this week. For how fast I completed this little guy, I'm very, very happy with how he turned out. And I can always use it as a fun little niche miniature, or just as a chest in my D&D games. Also, here's a picture of the chests, but I've had several people comment about my miniatures butts, so here's the chest's donk. And finally, of course, we have this Grot from the Gretchen and Hertzman line from Games Workshop. This is number 7 done, so 3 more to go. Had a lot of fun painting this guy. Again, with the chest, I was painting frantically trying to get a miniature painted. This one I actually had the foresight to base coat earlier in the week though, so he was a little bit less of a heartache, and I've done 6 more of him before in this color scheme. So once you do one, it starts to become easier to understand where you need to place the colors. My one complaint is this particular model. The models in general come on sprues and they come in pieces, so you have to glue them together and clip them out of the sprue, but this model was one piece, so it was difficult delineating certain parts of him, like where his mouth ended and like parts of his teeth weren't completely molded correctly. All in all though, very happy with how he turned out, and he joins the squad. And that is what I've been working on this week. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Remember, if you liked the content and want to see more, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification to stay notified. I'll drop updates whenever I post a video. I also started an Instagram recently at Paintlog, literally just at Paintlog. If you want to follow for more updates, drop a comment if you liked anything you see, or if you have any recommendations for that cave terrain. I would welcome anything at this point. And hit that like button. That's the other thing. But aside from that, I will see you all next week. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.